I seen.
Welcome. Sit down, roll up, pour up, turn up and tune in. Because you're now watching the Buncher Bull Network.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, Molly State of Mind podcast, down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios like we do every Saturday night. And tonight, I got a special guest in the building. I got my man, Kalaj Dame. What's going on, brother?
What up?
How you feeling, man?
Good, man. Real good.
Good, man. I appreciate you coming down to join me. You know, the podcast is going crazy right now, and I seen what you were doing. I remember your name from back in the day, like the Weapons of Mass production. Yeah, I remember seeing you. I remember seeing your name floating around then. I remember you were doing beats, and I remember hearing your stuff a lot, but I never got a chance to connect with you at that time. And then I seen the podcast pop up, and I seen the clips, and I'm like, man, this is real dope. And I reached out, and he was like, check out a full episode. And I was like, yeah, let me make sure I did that. Make sure I do that. And I've caught a couple since then. I saw the one with DJ Chevy and Scrap, and I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing with the podcast and how you're help getting people a platform that deserve a platform, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I did this, because I always felt like if people get to know you, they'll become more invested in you and they'll be more willing to support you.
Yeah.
Is always the thinking going into this podcast. So that was one of my main goals, and I see that you're keeping that going, and I love it, bro. I love to see it. I love to see it.
That's what's up. I definitely appreciate that, bro.
Yeah,
that's serious, sure. Man. It's always like something significant, to hear from people, because being a podcaster, like, you don't necessarily see it from the inside.
Yeah, you don't feel it.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely appreciate that. And same thing for you. Like, I've been watching yours. Of course, I did like my research, who's doing what, stuff like that. So I definitely checked it out, and I'm a fan.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what's up. For sure. So I like to kick off the podcast. I kind of already got into that, saying how I was introduced, or I come to meet the creative I have on, but I kind of already did that in saying, I love all the things that you're doing. But I also want to get into, like, so for you in music, like I said, I remember hearing about you with the beats and stuff, and I'm kind of familiar with the story because I did watch you and Chevy got into a lot of that, your beginnings. But for those who aren't familiar, man, for you with music, like, where did it start for you? Like, what gave you that craving to want to be more than a spectator in music? What made you want to decide to be a participant in music? Because I know you was also rapping too, right?
Yeah.
Not only messing with the beats, you was doing the rapping too.
Yeah. So funny thing, me being a rapper and a producer, the people that know me as a rapper have no idea that I produce.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that know me as a producer know very little about me rapping. Like, that's typically how I go.
Yeah.
I started rapping first when I was a kid, and it was just a love for hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think my sister won a tape off of Whammo. She like 12 years older than me. And Black Sheep.
Yeah.
A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first hip hop tape. From there, I was rapping 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
And
but they had the B-side with the instrumental on it or something?
No, this is the whole dip.
Okay.
Whole tape. And I knew every song word for word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Spit it all the way through. And that's kind of how I got my start in rapping. And then me and my cousin formed a little rap group, so we would like write over instrumentals and stuff like that. Right. And then from there, Spuck Johnson. I don't know if you've seen that interview, but so
I didn't see the interview, but I am familiar with Spuck for sure. Yeah.
So he's my aunt's god sister's son.
Okay.
So they live right next door to each other. It was like a triplex. They live. My aunt, my cousin that I was in a rap group with, lived right next door to Spuck.
Okay. So
we went over his crib, and he had like a full studio. We like 15, 16 years old. My eyes lit up, man. I seen the drum machine, keyboard, all of that.
Was that your first time ever experiencing a full studio?
Yeah. And from there, just took off, went home like, Mom, I need this keyboard. I think I got like a Gemini 12-second sampler.
Mm-hmm. So you immediately wanted to get into the production aspect of it as well.
Yeah. It was mostly like seeing the buttons and stuff, like the technical aspect of it. Like it was just it was cool to be able to push buttons and move faders and sliders and music come out. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You got intrigued by that immediately. So did you were still rapping at the time and you got into the beats.
Mhm.
So do you remember the first song you guys recorded?
So technically, what I used to do, this is before I had a drum machine.
Mhm.
I would play my piano at a Radio Shack 4-channel mixer. I would play my piano through the mixer and into a tape,
Okay.
like a tape recorder.
Mhm.
I would take that tape, put it in the Walkman, and play it back through the mixer, and then play more piano over top, or play like
You were
some
tracking it.
drums.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And then
That's crazy.
once I got a full beat, and mind you, on tape, so you're losing quality every time.
Yeah.
I'm recording.
And you got to get it right one take every time.
Yeah. So of course it's off beat sometimes and stuff like that. But once I record through maybe about 4 or 5 instruments, something like that, then I plug in my mic to the mixer, play it through the Walkman, and rap my verse over top of it.
Damn. So you're really on the ground with it, doing this. And like you said, you're losing quality with some of it, but you don't care. You just want the sound at that point.
Yeah.
What was the response like from your friends and family? You said you guys had a group. What was that? What was that response like? Were people messing with it?
Yeah, I think they were at that time. I mean, we was like 12, 13. At that time, it was just kind of like kids with a hobby, and they was just happy to see we was in
doing something positive.
Yeah, I think the first time I got a real positive response, I had to be maybe 17, 18.
Mm-hmm.
I recorded a song called Gold Diggers. And this is when a guy from my church gave me a 4-track, Tascam 4-track. I recorded a song called Gold Diggers, and I took that with me and gave it to like all my friends, gave them copies, played it around them. And all my friends was like, yo, I need a copy of that. I need that.
It became the popping thing in the hood.
Yeah. And that's at that moment is like, yeah, okay, I need to do this for real.
That gave you the validation that I'm on to something.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. So you're doing that. You get the validation. It's pumping you up to do it more. Did you do the beat yourself as well at that time?
Yeah.
Damn. So you're making beats already. You're kind of already ahead of your time and making beats and rapping already. When was the first time that you seen like the chance that this can be more than just something with the friends, with the homies, with the hood loving it? What was the first time you had that experience where, okay, now it's really starting to take off?
Yeah, so man, I want to say it's hard to remember the first point, but I remember Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang was a thing, and I was amazed by the idea of having all these, like a whole crew of dudes like on one song, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had my keyboard, my drum machine, and my 4-track. I would invite my friends over, and we like freestyle and stuff.
Okay.
So somewhere I got the idea, I want to start a record label.
Okay.
And it was like, start a record label. I want to say maybe Master P, like hearing the stories of Master P selling tapes out the trunk and stuff like that.
Independent grind is what motivated you.
Yeah, I think that was it. And so the idea was, start my record label because I'm making beats, I'm rapping, and I'm making a lot of beats, so I can get my homies to come through and rap on some of them.
Right.
And then, I go through the Disc Makers magazine and call around all the like Double XL and the Source, try to figure out answers to different
questions. Because this is before you could just get on and Google something. You actually had to do, you had to really do footwork.
This was 1998.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 98, 99. I was I
always think it's important to point that out because people are stuck in the now and they don't realize that you actually had to do some work. And I think that's the big difference between now and then, right? Like people can do it for fun and they can get in it, get out of it with no problem. Yeah. When you were doing it then, before you can just Google it or whatever, you had to have passion about it because it took a lot to make these things happen.
Yeah.
So you said you're looking in these different magazines, you're trying to find out resources. What type of resources were you looking for? How did you even know where to start to try to find these things?
That's being curious. And that's one of the main things like I preach on my podcast to, like the audience, just letting them know how to be successful and stuff is always stay curious and ask questions. Anything you don't know, ask it to yourself, and then that'll help you to find where your answers are. So like to give you an example, I remember Double XL magazine had a write-up about, I think it was the Nickel, I believe. Somebody from Pittsburgh. I'm pretty sure it's a Nickel, but I could be wrong. But I read it. I looked at it, the write up or whatever, and I wanted to know, how do I get an interview in a magazine?
Right.
So I flipped through the magazine. I found in the back where they had the list of contacts and phone numbers. I called the editor.
Right.
He picked up the phone. Was like, "Yo, how I get an interview?" So he asked me, he's like, how many copies you sold, blah, 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 all of this stuff. And I'm like, none really. Like, all right, he gave me a subscription to the magazine for free and was like, yo, call me when you get your numbers up. But that's like an example, and it was validation for me that I was doing something.
You were on the right path.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you got the idea to create a label. You don't really know where to start. You said you were inquisitive, so that's what made you want to go ahead and look into these things. Because like we said, this is before you could just Google it and say, I want to find this. You had to do footwork. You had to look in these, man. You had to read, find out who was who in order to get it. You get your foot in the door. You talk to an editor, and you get a little bit of the validation you need to keep going. What was the next step after that? Did you end up starting that label?
Yeah. So I started my record label. I got a sole proprietorship, Sold Out Entertainment. I mean, it's searchable on the PA website right now.
How did you even know to go down those steps to get something like a sole proprietorship, or as opposed to an LLC? Or
same thing, just asking questions for the most part. Like I can't remember exact moments for some of these details, but in general, it's what do I do? So
did you have mentors at that time that were kind of experienced in this realm?
Not much. So I did have like Spug Johnson, for example. Kinda. So like when I was with him, I was with technically with Climax Records with Imhotep the Architect.
Okay.
He's under not True Style, Najee Head. So I would ask questions whenever I go over there to record, how you do this, how you do that, stuff like that. There's a few people here and there, but for the most part, and watching TV, reading magazines, interviews, just studying anything and everything I could.
Right. Now it seemed like, I'm not going to generalize because I don't want to generalize, but I know oftentimes, even as men, we just get too prideful. We don't want to ask questions. We don't want to humble ourselves and say to someone like, damn, I see you doing it. How can I be a part of it? How can I do it? But you said like that's what you had to do in order to get what you wanted. Were you always that type of guy that didn't mind asking questions, didn't mind going to people and asking for the answers? Or is that something that you had to develop along the way?
It started when I was a kid. My mom, she would almost force me to solve my own problems. So like I remember very specifically, there's one clear situation. I had fish when I was a kid. I had to be about 12 years old, and I had an Oscar, Red Tiger Oscar. And I wanted something like a heating lamp or something like that. I'm like, Mom, could you call them and see how much it is? She's like, no, you call them.
Right.
Stuff like that. Yeah, like throughout my life is like, if you want the answers, you take the steps to do it. That, and then coming up in the hood, it's like survival mode. Being in poverty and stuff. When you everybody you're surrounded by adults wise is, smoking crack and stuff like that, then you gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes it's to feed yourself, sometimes to make sure your siblings is okay.
Right.
And that, being a latchkey kid, feed myself and just living in survival mode in general is like, ain't nobody around that's going to help you, like give you a handout. So you gotta stand up.
It taught you a certain type of independence.
Yeah, exactly.
And becoming an independent label owner, that independence becomes important.
Yeah, I don't think I connected those dots though. I was just kind of running.
Yeah, at that time you're not thinking about it, but in hindsight, you're like, these skills did help me to develop that. So you said you got the label, you gained a sole proprietorship. What made you decide to go in that direction with the label?
Probably just not knowing better, not understanding the difference between LLC and.
Would you have done it different if you had known?
I would have did a lot of stuff different if I know. I don't think I did it efficiently at all. Like it was good just for the experience of it.
Yeah, you were learning on the go.
Yeah,
trial and error.
And this is something I tell everybody now. This company, this podcast that I'm running right now, this is really the first time I'm officially running a business. And I only know that because I'm actually running it and I'm contrasting against everything I tried to do in the past.
Right. So you've learned from those mistakes that you did in the past, and
Exactly.
now you're applying them to this aspect of your life.
Exactly.
Okay, so you get the label. What was the first act that you had when you started the label?
First act. So officially, the first act was me and my cousin, the one that I
You
started
started the
rapping
group
with.
with. What was
Yeah.
the name of the group?
We changed our names a few times. First, it was Positive Prophets, then Eastside Villains.
Villains.
Yeah. My rap name at the time was Crazy 8, and he was Dizzy. And then we changed a couple times, and we ended up with Kalaj Dame and Prodigal.
Okay. So you guys go through the change. Your first act is you and your cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that go? How did that first venture into owning your own label and producing for yourself and your cousin? How did that go? What was that like?
So it started with me and my cousin rapping on instrumentals and then rapping over beats. We were in the church, so we're performing at like sometimes on Sundays. There's a church event, we rapping there. We used to do this thing every first Saturday of the month. We would go and do like this event at Schumann.
Mm-hmm.
So we would rap there. You know how the church come and like there's mimes and skits and stuff like that. So we was part of the act. Like we would rap after they do all the other stuff.
So you had to be conscious of your content because you're performing for this type of crowd, right?
Yeah, we was heavy in the church, so it was like religious.
Okay,
rap.
so you started off in that lane.
That was like parallel with it. Like we was rapping, and while we was rapping, we kind of side shifted and got into the church and got religious. So it was like, well, come on, let's rap here too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. No, for sure. So you're doing that. What was that like? Seeing you're doing your first shows, seeing your product out to the people. What was that feeling like?
Scary as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was dope. It was an experience. Definitely like practice. Practice makes perfect, that type deal.
Yeah.
But there's tons of times like my mind went blank. I forgot my lyrics and nervous every time, getting stage fright.
Yeah. How long did that last for? Until you just shook that off or you got used to it?
Never. I've never shook it off.
Yeah. That's interesting. No, because you've done a lot by this point.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing the shows. When was that first bit of success like having a label and stuff? What were some of the downs that you faced having a label at first? Because like you said, you did a lot of this learning on the go.
Yeah.
These were things. What was some of the setbacks that you had early on?
Some of the biggest setbacks were just being, in the team. So I didn't have a lot of money to like pay anybody or anything or invest. So we weren't getting like CDs pressed up at disc makers. It was like me burning my own CDs.
Right.
So one issue is, creative differences amongst the crew where I want to make a song like this. No, man, this beat is better. I'm not doing that. Or dudes that kind of rap, but they not really as good as they think they is.
Right.
And, no, we can't record that. What? Come on. You know what I mean? That type stuff.
How many people did you have in the crew at that time?
At least 10.
Okay.
Not more.
So that's a lot of personalities to manage.
Yeah. And people not showing up, people coming late. Couple shows we did, some dudes forgot their lines and said they forgot their line while they was on stage in the middle of the performance.
Lack of professionalism.
Yeah.
A lot of lack of professional. And that's one of the things that come along with it, right? You're learning the ropes. You don't really understand that, especially because you started a label early on. You don't understand, or people fail to understand that it's a business.
I would say that, but I would say at the same time, I was well practiced in it by the time I put my team together.
Right.
So I didn't understand this at the time, but I knew how to navigate because I've been trying different things and experimenting for so long.
Right.
I knew where I wanted to go and how I wanted to get there. And I was pulling on other people that didn't have that experience.
Right.
So, them falling, tripping up, making mistakes, being unprofessional, kind of go with territory.
Right. Right. So that's a thing that a lot of people don't realize whenever you're trying to form groups or you're trying to have other people involved, is that you're going to deal with a lot of different personality types, and different people need different things. You
Yeah.
can't approach everybody with the same type of tactic.
Exactly.
Even though you are who you are, sometimes you have to cater to what people need.
Yeah.
If you're a part of a team and if you plan on running a team.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's where we can fall short, is because we try to approach everyone with the same hand.
Yeah.
And some people need a softer touch. Some people need a harder nudge. You know what I mean? But it's up to you as the captain of the team to figure out who needs what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that a skill that you had early on, or is that something that you had to develop? Because like you said, you already kind of were practiced into it.
Yeah.
They were a little bit newer to it. Is that something that you had to figure out? Like, I need to cater to this person this way or this person that way.
I think that was something that I got again from my mom. Just learning how to navigate people and be persuasive. So like mirroring someone's energy and knowing when to say something nice, knowing when to back off. Like
Right.
I've always been a pretty good communicator.
Right.
So when it comes to dealing with a bunch of people, that was just kind of a strength I had.
Right.
Where like I've always been able to rally up people behind me just by talking to them.
Yeah.
So at that time, I could talk to people, hey, come on, let's get on board. And the problem became when it comes time to actually show and take those steps, walk the walk, then it's like, hey, bro, I've been riding with you for a year. I ain't got an album yet. And we ain't making no money yet. We ain't doing the big shows that you promised me before. So with me not knowing how to navigate or being lazy, messing around sometimes, then eventually that's when more issues started to come.
So people were expecting an immediate return as soon as they got in, and when they weren't seeing it, frustration started to catch.
Not necessarily. I would say more like it probably felt like maybe like I sold them a dream that I couldn't fulfill, or that according to what they seen, it didn't appear to be fulfilled.
Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, definitely. And again, like they not perfect either, but at the same time, excuse me, I had obligations that verbally I committed to,
right,
and I wasn't able to fulfill them. So that's pretty much it.
And it happens, like you said, it's a learning process. You got to win some to lose some, and it's unfortunate. Sometimes people don't see the vision, right? They don't understand that it's going to be some sacrifices along the way before we get those wins. But when we get those wins, we'll share them together.
Yeah.
So as you're going along, you got the team. You guys are moving. You guys are getting some progress, but like you said, you're having some setbacks along the way. What was that next big step for you or the label? What was that next big?
So somewhere in there, I got to mention this in case one of my bros was watching, but I picked up AFC, Official Family Clique, which they just went by the family. Okay. So they became a crew, and then we all became a crew together. So the record label, when I say we was like maybe like 10 to 20 deep total, like we was wide. Then we picked up, I don't know if you're familiar with Nisha Beats.
Yeah.
So we picked up Nisha Beats back when he was playing piano at the Hosanna House. Him, a few other people.
Nisha Beats did a fire beat for Ray Zellis that I loved back in the day.
Yeah.
Shout out Ray, man. That's my dog. But yeah, for sure.
That's what's up. Villanueva.
We just did Round Cow together.
So he used to go by Young Focus. He was on my team.
Okay.
So we had a bunch of people.
That's fire, yeah.
From there, they left. So like Villa, he was under Nisha Beats. We ended up separating creative differences. And we hit a point to where we were doing shows everywhere. We were selling CDs, we had merchandise, and I felt like there was a wall that I couldn't get above. At that point, my homie hit me up. This was 2002. My homie hit me up. He used to be a promoter.
That's your water, by the way.
Oh, snap. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
He used to be a promoter and producer under Bad Boy.
Okay. Yep.
So he did a bunch of shows, all the Bad Boy shows from the 90s that were here in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
He brought them.
Okay.
Double Platinum was the name of his company.
All right.
So this is my homie. He lived in Jersey at the time, 2002. So he called me and was like, yo, I got an idea. He had this 50 Cent in the club. He was like, I want a woman to rap this verse. And, he had the first verse in his head. And He's like, come on, let's go to Atlanta, let's do it. I was about to join the military at the time. I was like, man, I don't know what to do. He was like, nah, come with me. So he came. It was an SUV. I don't remember what type, but
You took a huge leap of faith by trusting
100%.
in him, and
100%. And it was bad.
Yeah.
It was rough. He came to get me. I packed all my equipment, my clothes in his SUV. We drove to the A, stayed with his sister. We had no food, no money.
Yeah.
I remember I had a bottle, an Alizé bottle full of dimes that I used to collect, and I wanted to keep filling it. I had to break my bottle to get the dimes out to buy a pack of hot dogs and some spaghetti noodles just so we could eat one day.
Yeah.
Like, it was rough.
Yeah, and those are the stories you hear about along the way, right? Because sometimes you got to make these sacrifices.
Yeah.
You got to pay your dues if you believe in yourself and you believe in your vision. And when people talk about investing in yourself, it's not just investing with monetary means. It's investing your time. It's investing your peace of mind. It's investing your safety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's investing, your livelihood sometimes. Like you said, you're about to join the military, you're about to make a career for yourself, but you decide to make that sacrifice, that investment in yourself because you believe in your dream.
Yeah, that, and I just felt like I ain't have no other option. Like, there wasn't anything else in front of me that was like, do this, do that to get to where you want to be. And it was like, I'm just working a regular job. I ain't really going nowhere. I ain't doing nothing. So said I might as well join the military.
Yeah.
And so when he called, it was like, no, don't do that. To me, it was like, all right.
It was a sign.
It made perfect sense.
Yeah. So you guys go down to Atlanta. It's rough at first. You're struggling.
Yeah.
How did you like stay the course? How did you still go through with it and fight it? Like when you're low, when you're hungry, you know what I mean, when things ain't working in your favor, like what kept you motivated to keep going?
Definitely him to an extent. Him saying, come on, bro, it's gonna work. So, he's the type of person that he'll sell you on some hype because he believe it, but it may not necessarily be true. So he's like, yo, I got my man. He got cars, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have a Benz. We're going to be good. His man on the car lot. We go see his man, and his man like, yo, I'm only down to one car, and it's a beater from 10 years ago. It's like, oh, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And situation after situation. Eventually, I started to kind of lose faith. Like, did he just sell me on some BS?
Right.
Then he, the next person we went to go see actually lined up, and everything that he said was 100% correct.
Right.
So he's like, yo, my man DJ J Nice, this is my homie. We're gonna meet with him. We went to go meet with him. Turns out he's the president of Shaquille O'Neal's record label.
Mm-hmm.
I played some beats for him, and he's like, nah, I don't like none of them.
Yeah.
But we met him.
But he kept up that end of the bargain. He kept up that end of the word. He told you that was going to happen.
Introducing him, yeah. There's a few people that happened with where, I mean, him, Lily, the light-skinned girl in SWV.
Mm-hmm.
We went to her crib, chilling in her house, played beats for her and stuff. Bad Boy, so Club 112. This was 2003 when NBA All-Star Weekend was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So Bad Boy, I believe, is a all-white party. It was either all white or all black, but they had a party at Club 112.
Right.
On a Saturday night where DJ J Nice was a DJ every Saturday. So we got the party with them. So he knew my homie Johnny Handsome, he knew all of Bad Boy.
Right.
And literally talking to them, introducing me to everybody. D Dot, Angeletti, Hart Pierre. Matter of fact, he was so close to Black Rob that Black Rob was close to me after. So like Black Rob came to where we was staying, small little apartment, we had a mattress on the floor.
Yeah.
He's sitting there in the room, hot ass room, no AC while he listen to beats and stuff.
Damn.
We in the club.
And this is like the height of Black Rob too. We should say.
Well, not necessarily. Yeah. This is far after like whoa.
Mm-hmm.
But in the club in Club 112, he's like walking up to me, out of nowhere, giving me a hug. Yo, what up, bro? Like, and I say that to explain that, like, that's how close my homie Johnny Handsome was to these people.
Right.
To where the things he was saying was starting to line up. Like, okay, we got.
When at first you were doubting it, and now you're starting to see it firsthand that these things are real.
Yeah.
So you got these, and I always like to make this point in these podcasts, because there's a lot of things that go into making it, right? And one of those things that come with it is luck, right? It's about being in the right place at the right time with the right people. But even more so than that is what you do with that luck once you have it.
Yeah.
What you do with that moment once you have it, because a lot of people get those opportunities but don't utilize them the right way. So you're in Atlanta. You're meeting the people from Bad Boy. You're meeting the team. What did that do for your career? How did that help you along the way?
Man, so my beats got way better. That's the first thing. Being exposed to competition outside of Pittsburgh, where you go to.
Smoke,
Oh, you good? You go to So DJ J Nice was the president of Shaquille O'Neal's record label. He somehow had a connection to a studio, Krypton Studios. We go there, we meet this guy's like a kid, basically. The energy was given off anyways. Scooter Braun. Scooter Braun is
that's crazy.
Partners with Mike Geller. Mike Geller, I don't know if you ever heard of Boy Genius, the tech site.
Yeah.
So that's Justin Geller.
Okay.
Justin Geller is the Boy Genius.
Okay. They're related?
Mike and Justin are brothers.
Okay.
So they have like the biggest, or at the time had like the biggest advertising firm in the country.
Yeah, makes sense.
So the Geller family co-own Krypton Studios with Scooter Braun.
Wow. For those who don't know, Scooter Braun is like Justin Bieber's manager, one of the manager to the biggest pop stars in the world. So that's crazy that you.
And this was so like when I say his name, people go crazy, like, "Oh my God, Scooter Braun!" But yeah, I understand
this is before then,
way early in his career.
Right, exactly.
So he knew, like, he was throwing parties. He was kind of big in Atlanta.
Yeah,
he knew like the Jermaine Dupri's and stuff like that, but he wasn't the Scooter he is now.
Right.
But yeah, from there, met Shaq, hung out with him, Lord Tariq, Peter Guns.
Oh, the Jersey crew,
yeah. Heard Corey Guns. Matter of fact, he was 15 years old at the time, I think. Heard
that was Smack DVD Corey.
Yeah.
Matter
of fact, it might have been before then, because Pete was playing his stuff in the back in Studio B. We was listening to it.
That's crazy. So you were onto that stuff early, being in those situations. So what was it like once you got in those rooms and you're seeing this take place? What's going through your mind? Do you feel like, okay, I made it, or do you feel like I still got more steps to go? Like, what was your thinking at that time?
I felt like I made it. I had too much ego. Like, I went from a dude in Pittsburgh, competing with everybody, to I'm in VIP eating Shaquille O'Neal's birthday cake behind the velvet rope and everybody looking at me like I'm a celebrity.
Right.
To, I walk in the studio and Scooter Braun run up to me, "Yo, Kalaj, I want you to run my company." Like, basically everybody hyping and blowing my head up, where
you starting to bleed the hype.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you walking through the club and somebody this is when BMF was big. So you walking through the club and my homie that's tight with BMF, he got money and bottles and everything else. He passed you a bottle of champagne. The DJ's my homie, so I got all access anywhere in the club. I'm in VIP, with a bottle of is it Moet, I think, just chilling.
Right.
And people are looking at me like I'm somebody.
Right.
And yeah, that definitely went to my head.
Yeah.
I didn't have no money to show for it, but just
that probably made it that much tougher, right? Because now you have an image to maintain, and you don't have the resources to maintain this image or live up to the image that you gain for yourself, or the stature that you gain for yourself.
Literally the reason why I moved back. Yeah. So when we got down there, we had to maintain the image, like you said.
Yeah.
So
people don't realize that, and that's a lot of artists, right?
Yeah. Like most artists that you see, like there's artists, big names, and I won't say their names, but there's big name artists that I'll be in the studio with. They got all these jewelry and diamonds on, back at the time, and they like, "Hey man, let me hold $20, $25." You know what I mean? Like, just so I could get back home.
And you thinking there's somebody. You thinking they got bread.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, there was days, even still, in being around the celebrities and studios and stuff,
yeah,
when I didn't know how I was going to eat.
Yeah.
Where, you know, we got to figure out some type of way to get somebody with a Benz S500 so we could go to the club, and, you know, we pitching in so we could get this bottle of champagne and all of this other crazy stuff. Our apartment we lived in was the one where, like, I think most of the Atlanta Braves had lived there or something.
And that's what I was going to mention too. You live in Atlanta where the cost of living is way that much more.
So our rent in 2003 was $1,400. No, I'm sorry, $1,700. It started at 14 because we had a $300 discount.
That's what rent is now.
Yeah, exactly.
In nice places.
This is the first time I seen an apartment like this. My apartment had granite countertops, 11-foot ceilings. You know, we had Berber carpet, Roman garden tub. For the people that don't know, that's the gigantic jacuzzi tub.
Right.
Just a regular garden tub in the second bathroom, and it was 1, 2, 3 bedrooms. It was brand new. No one had ever lived in it.
Yeah, and you're trying to keep up with this along with doing just regular shit.
And we couldn't. Like, we got to a point to where we didn't know how we was going to pay the rent. Like, it was a what's the next hustle?
Yeah,
and I couldn't live like that no more.
What Dre saying the Outkast song? It's true. I may have more fans than the average fans, but I'm living beat to beat like you live check to check.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? People don't see that aspect of it. We got a question that came in from Veli. Do you have a moment where you create something that someone thinks is fire, but you wholeheartedly didn't like it and put it out anyways? So did you have a moment where where someone really loved it and you wasn't rocking with it, but you put it out anyways?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I am.
You kind of that probably happens more as a producer. Yeah. More times than not.
Yeah. And
because once you give it up, you lost your power over it.
Yeah, I would say mostly as a producer, but there's definitely songs that I made where, like, most of my artists and people underneath me would listen to it and be like, yo, that's fire, that's crazy. And I'm like, dude, like, this is whack, this is garbage.
Right.
And because I'm outvoted, or I feel outvoted, you know, because music is all about what the people want in general. So if most of the people want it, then
you got to give it to them. Yeah. And I always go by the theory because I don't like everything played on the radio. You know what I mean? And obviously other people like it because it's there, right? Yeah. So even with my own music, just because I don't like it don't mean that other people won't like it. And sometimes you'll get that reaction. You know, you might play a song you think is fire and people just act regular. Then you play the next song that you think is just something. They're like, oh, run that one back. Like, run that one back? Yeah. Like, bro, you ain't just here? No, run that one back. Yeah. So that definitely happens. That's a part of it.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Especially like selling beats as a producer, where, you know, you skipping past the whack ones and somebody, whoa, run that back, play that again. Like, come on, bro.
Oh yeah. So you're in Atlanta, like you said, the lifestyle starting to catch up to you. You're getting a lot of the accolades. You're rubbing shoulders with all the right people, but you still don't have anything to show for it. Yeah. Now, were you getting a lot of placements at that time when you were in Atlanta working with Bad Boy and the team?
No. So this one is funny the way that it worked. So Jay Nice was our DJ. He would get like requests. Like, he was close to like major record labels and stuff. So like I think I told the Monica So Gone story on my podcast, but basically
tell it again for those who aren't familiar with it.
So Jay Nice got some inside.
It's a dope story that people still apply today.
Yeah.
It's also the good thing about it. Yeah,
definitely. So Jay Nice got a request basically from an insider of J Records for Monica's new hit single to remix it. So he got the acapella and the instrumental, and he gave it to us. So I was a part of the production team, was called Hurricane Entertainment. So he gave it to us, they gave it to me. Kalaj chopped this up, see what you could do. So I chopped up the instrumental and I replayed it like similar but different.
Right.
Once I got finished with that, I laid the acapella over it. I chopped up the acapella, so the song was slightly different. I left a space for me and my homie to go back and forth. So we gave it back to Jay. Jay loved it. He played it everywhere he DJ'd at.
Right.
So,
and like you said, he's one of the biggest DJs in Atlanta, and that's a major hub for music. It's a hub for entertainment. It's Black Hollywood.
So A part of the story I didn't mention, which is relevant to this, that in the club 50 Cent song.
Yeah.
When we got down there, we burned that on a bunch of CDs and we gave it to every DJ that we could find.
Mm-hmm.
So we would go to different clubs, from strip clubs, nightclub, anywhere. And if there's a DJ, we would give them the CD. And if we had to, give them $20, $50, something, play this song.
Right.
They would play it. We had it labeled 50 Cent in the club.
Mm-hmm.
They would play it right after
50
the
Cent in
original
the club, yeah.
and the club would go crazy.
Yeah.
So this was before, I don't know if you remember the time, but Free from 106 in Park, she had a remix. Beyonce, she had a remix.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of people remixed that
Definitely
song.
remember the Beyonce joint, yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but that is the only song that was remixed that much in history, especially by R&B artists.
I believe it, yeah.
There was no remix at all to that song when we did it, because this is like technically before it came out.
Right.
So we gave it to all the DJs in Atlanta. It blew up. It was a top hit. That's how we got a lot of our opportunities. Then all of a sudden, everybody got a remix to it. I ain't saying they stole it from us, but it felt out.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you just speaking facts. You speaking it the way you know it. So you seen that as a formula. You seen that as a way to go, and it kind of inspired you to do the Monica, to come back and revisit and do the Monica thing.
So we got impatient. So we gave DJ J Nice the Monica So Gone song, and you know, he took it around and did his thing. But we like, yo, what we did with the 50 Cent in the club, we could do it with this song. So we took it around, gave it to all the DJs. Mm-hmm. Well, what happened was J Records contacted J Nice, basically threatened cease and desist, like, y'all gotta chill.
Yeah.
And that whole opportunity went down the drain. Never heard anything about it.
Damn. And that's another thing that people fail to realize, and they do it a lot today, right? They make songs to YouTube beats, they make songs to stuff that they don't own. And if these songs happen to blow up, all it takes is that phone call, that letter, hey, cut that out.
Yeah.
And now everything you don't work for is gone.
So I heard, and I'm not sure if it's a rumor, how true it is, but I'm pretty sure Jay Nice told me that they were getting calls about, hey, when are you going to put that song out?
The remix,
like officially.
Yeah.
And at this time, they had decided, we don't know this production team. We don't know these dudes rapping on it. They're not big enough. They don't have a name. Excuse me. This is Monica's big re-release, big comeback. Let's go with Busta Rhymes, a name we could trust. Mm-hmm. And they put out the Benita Applebum one with Busta Rhymes on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just kind of like, because we was nobodies and we messed that up and everything was just kind of like sour. So they flushed it.
How deflating was that moment?
A little bit, but it was still like, okay, what's the next opportunity?
Right. You couldn't dwell on it.
I mean, we had tons of opportunities, like, because again, we was in the big studios, big names. Because of Jay, we was in the club, you know, every other night. We had the studio in the crib, so we drunk making music every day.
Right. So you just worried about the next thing.
Yeah.
So what was that moment down there? Because you made mention of it, that you were like, all right, I need to go back home. I need to get up out of here.
Yeah. I think we had a truck or a car or something like that, and we lost it. And too many days of not knowing what I'm gonna eat, not eating much, needing to scrape stuff together. And then I feel like something happened with the studio where we weren't going back to the big studio. I can't remember what happened, but basically something squashed that. And it was kind of feeling like, what do we do next? And how do we pay rent? And how do we eat?
Right.
And sure, there could have been an answer somewhere, but I was completely deflated.
You were burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was December 2003.
Yeah.
And I had a friend actually that was driving to Pittsburgh to visit family for the holidays. Yeah. And they had a van. It was literally, yo, can I throw my shit in your van and drive up there with you?
Did you feel like you lost at that moment? Did it feel like defeat coming back home?
No, because I had acquired so much knowledge. I felt like I knew so much that if I bring this back to Pittsburgh, I'm going to kill it. Like I was excited to get back home.
You seen it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. So you do the Atlanta thing. You're gaining this knowledge. You're rubbing shoulders with people in the industry. You're building relationships with people in the industry. Um, even though you didn't see the immediate financial return from it, you still gained a lot
Yeah.
during that experience.
Yeah.
Rather through knowledge itself or through relationships, you got wealthy
Yeah.
in other ways during that experience. And after that experience, you kind of felt like I've done all I could here. This. You met your ceiling there. It's time to move on to the next chapter, which was coming back home.
Yeah.
Where you felt like you could utilize the resources and the things that you gained. Were you able to do that upon your return?
Nah, I mean, to some extent, but nah. The biggest issue was, so when I was in Atlanta is when someone introduced me to Black Planet. I started getting girls through Black Planet in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back to Pittsburgh, it was, oh, I could look on Black Planet up here. The easy access online to the women completely side railed me from everything I was supposed to be doing. So I was still making music, but my focus and consistency was way off.
Was not there.
Yeah.
Damn. That's deep, bro. So it was really just the distractions that threw you off.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think caused those? Because I'm sure you had the same things going on in Atlanta. What do you think made you more susceptible when you moved back home to the distractions as opposed to when you were down there?
My ego, for one, because I mean, coming back to Pittsburgh from the situation I was just in my
Big
mind,
fish in a little pond.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that having that energy where like I had, at least at the time, songs with celebrities, pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I could show anyone, talk to anyone, hey, check this out. So, groupies and every dude is your homie and want to come through. So it was more like, I'm just going to soak up these rewards at this level and be comfortable and not necessarily need to climb more. Like it wasn't a conscious decision,
right?
But that's what it ended up being.
Is that something you were conscious of at that time, or is that something that you had to look back on and realize, like, damn, that's what it was?
Had to look back. Yeah.
If you would have known it at that time, you think you would have been able to better self-regulate?
Maybe, but the dopamine hit from chasing tails.
Yeah,
that's a beast.
It's a real thing. Yeah. It's a real addiction. It could be.
And honestly, I feel like now, because I'm going on 45 and married, like now I'm able to control it because I've been through so much craziness, trauma in life, dealing with women. It's like, all right, I'm good. Let me respect and appreciate what I get.
Do you think you were trying to fill a void with that? Do you think it was an emptiness that you were trying to fill with the lusting?
Chasing women?
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent. I think that a lot of us do, maybe not necessarily throwing it off on anybody, but when you're raised in survival mode and you don't necessarily get the love and connection from your mom that you're supposed to, and you're looking for a form of intimacy that you don't quite understand, and you get that closeness from a girl that appreciates you just because you're attractive, and you had that close connection, and you're feeling that femininity, one step leads to another, and now
you're chasing that feeling.
You hitting it. You got the serotonin popping, and you need it again and again and again.
Yeah, like an addiction. It's a real addiction.
And then the cycle is really, I'm throwing myself into you, and then a few days later, oh snap, I gotta get back to my music. Now you flipping out and crazy. We need to be something, baby. I ain't got that kind of time. I'm on this.
Right.
So you drop her after all your windows is busted out, but then you need another one. And the cycle just keep going.
The cycle keeps going. Damn. So you get back home, you're distracted, so you're not making the progress you want, or you're not giving the music the attention that you need to.
Yeah.
Where did that leave you at? Like once you got there, like
same thing. I mean, because we had MySpace, so there was moments where like I would put out a song. I think I put out a song in I don't know, it's 2005, 2006, somewhere around there, and it like went viral on MySpace.
Mm.
Like 100,000 plays or
So
something
you're still
like that.
getting wins. You're
Yeah,
still getting wins with
small
it.
wins here and
Yeah.
there. I opened up a studio at McKees Rocks, Chartiers Avenue. So little commercial spot, pay like 600 a month. Had my studio back there. So it's like small wins here and there. I rebuilt my team when
Yeah.
I came back, but ultimately, like, to go back earlier when I said right now is the only time I've really done business. At that point in time, it was I'm making music and I have a vision, I have an idea of what I want to do,
Yeah.
but I wasn't actually conducting business.
Mm.
So there was no registration of songs. There was no, real commercial distribution. It
Right.
was, I'm gonna press up, 50, 200 CDs
You still
and
out the trunk with it.
out the trunk. And
Yeah.
and it was feeding me. It was
Sure.
paying rent a couple days and stuff like that, but it wasn't climbing. You
Right.
know what I mean?
You didn't see any way that it can go any further than where it was.
No, I definitely had options. I mean, shit, like I was down ID Labs. This was what 2004. Yeah, because I came back 2003. So I was down ID Labs. I was producing for Boog and T. My cousins, they had songs with like all different types of celebrities and stuff. And like I was doing some stuff. I just, again, I wasn't hungry enough.
You
I
felt
was,
like you could be doing more.
yeah, definitely. And actually, running it like a business. Like if I had merch set up, I didn't even have barcodes on my CDs, like stuff like that.
It wasn't something you were thinking about. So you get back home. What was that like? Because you had a big crew before you left, and I'm sure some of them started doing their things in different directions. And you've already made these connections back where you were at.
Yeah.
Were you starting to put those pieces together when you came home?
Nah, so while I was in Atlanta, my crew up here, like we basically had a falling out. And the issue was from their perspective, I'm down there calling them like, yo, I'm with this celebrity, I'm popping bottles, this and that. And they up here still in their situation.
Yeah.
And they not hearing anything about how I'm helping them. It looks like I came down just to
For
boost myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand this at the time because technically I'm starving down there, and
Right.
most of what I'm doing is fake. Like I'm driving somebody else's Benz.
You didn't have anything that you can offer them.
Exactly. And I would hype it up to them like that just so they could feel
Like we said, you have to live up to this. You have to live up to this thing that you built for yourself, the stature that you built up.
That, but at the same time, to say, hey, I'm down here starving to your homies, like your niggas, is like, nigga, what is you down there doing? You know what I mean? So it was more like, no, like the mission is still going this plan. We doing good. I got this. That was my energy. So yeah, when I got back,
they're thinking, if you got this, then why ain't you got me then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when I got back, most of my team had dispersed.
Yeah.
And it was basically I had to put a
start
new
back
team
from
together.
scratch.
Yeah.
Is that what you felt like? Did you feel like you had to rebrand yourself? You had to and that had to be humbling too, right? Because you've done all these great things. You've already did all these things and got all these accolades where you were just at, and now you got to come back home and start from scratch.
Nah, because I'm the big fish, remember?
Yeah. Okay.
So it is literally like, I left a kid. I came back. I'm Kobe Bryant, LeBron now. Like you leaving, like, and not saying it was good, but my ego at the time was whatever. Yeah. Like y'all rapping here in so and so's basement, whatever.
That's cool.
Like that's all right. Yeah. But watch this. Yeah. Like that was my energy at the time.
Yeah, for sure. We got another question. Do you feel as a producer you don't get enough love or enough shout outs, enough credit, basically?
100,000%. Yeah, that is a thing. It's a very difficult one when you see these lists go up every year, and somebody makes a post, who's your favorite all-time producers, and my name's not up there. But I also realized that I had so much ego, I never wanted to be known as a Pittsburgh producer. So I didn't go hard for Pittsburgh to even, like, The producers in Pittsburgh know me.
Yeah.
But the people in Pittsburgh, like I said, I didn't commercially distribute or widely distribute nothing.
Right.
And in my mind, I was an industry producer. So for someone to look at me, oh, that's my favorite Pittsburgh producer, that was almost like an insult to me, like back then. So because I never set myself up for that,
you can't be mad at what the fruit bear now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we talked about the music. What made you decide to recreate yourself in the world of podcasting? How did that come about?
So I retired from music around 2014, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And once I retired from there, I went back to school for electrical engineering. I got an electrical engineering, and this is my shift to be a normal, uh, 9 to 5, square.
Yeah.
I like talking, and I consider myself a nerd that just loves to have diverse conversation about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that plus, I have very strong opinions and emotions about like the Black community, about Pittsburgh or economy. So I have all these ideas, and then at the same time, I still want that $4 million house that I wanted when I was a rapper and producer.
Right.
I can't get that on the engineer salary.
Right.
So I'm thinking, what hustle can I do to make some money? Well, real estate, you need money to get in. It takes time, energy. I don't want to do all that. And I just started going through stuff. It was like podcasts. I know how to run business because of all of my experience. I got all of these connections. I got industry connections. I love talking to people. I got all these strong emotions about everything. And I was already a fan of like Joe Rogan and stuff like that. I kind of got the format of it down. It's a no-brainer. Maybe it takes 5 years, maybe it takes 10 years, but it seemed like a perfect fit for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it seems like a good fit for you too, for all the reasons you named. Did you know right away the direction you wanted to be in when you got into the podcast? And tell us a little about the podcast for those who might not have seen it or aren't familiar with it.
Yeah, so initially, I want to say this was either 2023 or 2024. I feel like maybe 2023. I wanted a podcast like Joe Budden's, where literally, like, as you look at it, there's two couches facing forward, kind of like how these are, with two people on one side, two people on this side, and the whole group of us is talking, and the whole point was Black Pittsburgh. So the idea was Black Pittsburgh, we're not represented publicly and nationally, we'll say. So I seen Mark Cuban, and he described, somebody asked him in the interview, hey, describe Pittsburgh to us. And he's like, oh, they say downtown and yins and this and that. And I'm like, I can't identify with nothing he's saying.
Right.
So I got this idea to have a podcast like Joe Budden, except we talk about Black Pittsburgh stuff. And the problem with that, again, when you're dealing with multiple people, you have creative differences. Some people work harder than others.
Did you have like a team or partnership that you were looking to get into it with initially?
For that run of the podcast? I wanted to, but everybody was kind of like, I don't have the time, money, or mental space to like partner. I'll help a little bit here and there, but for the most part, I'm just showing up to talk on the mic. And that one was difficult because, excuse me, I didn't have enough time to really learn what I was doing in terms of editing or how I wanted to navigate. So I want to say we had a few people quit because like we were recording all the way up until it was like a year and a half, almost 2 years without putting nothing out. People were getting tired. They're like, I can't keep coming here every week and we're not
putting
doing
this time
nothing.
investment in and not seeing any fruits.
Yeah. So, people quit. I brought new people on, and then there was differences. A fight broke out. We had to move locations. It was so much going on. Eventually, I'm like, I gotta stop. So I'm spending hundreds. I want to say I spent probably close to 20-30 grand total on just that attempt.
Damn. How long of a time period was it on that attempt? Like, was it a year, 2 years? How long did it take?
About maybe close to 2 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time and money on your behalf.
Yeah, so bought all the equipment. Um, it was a drinking podcast, so I'm buying all the liquor every week. I'm paying the rent on the studio,
On the space, yeah.
Yeah, the gas, all types of stuff, like just spending money constantly.
Yeah. So what what do you think it was that prevented you from putting out that material? Why do you think the material wasn't fit to be put out, or what was the
So
obstacles?
I didn't know about the editing workflow.
Hmm.
I didn't know how easy it could be with like Resolve, or I use Resolve now, or Premiere. So, for example, my editing workflow, you could literally just highlight, all your camera clips and just select multicam and hit the button, and it
Does it
lays
for
it
you?
all out for you.
Yeah.
I was thinking you got to put each one and synchronize and cut individually, and I'm like, I have no idea how I'm gonna do this in running. We're supposed to put out like 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't keep up with that at this workflow rate. It's never gonna work.
Right.
So I was searching for answers that whole time and never found any.
So again, kind of like when you started with the music, you're doing trial and error. You're trying to figure out what works best. You're coming back to that same process all over again.
Exactly.
In the world of podcasting. So that first attempt didn't work out the way that you planned it to, and that brought you to where we know you as now.
Yeah. So this was last year in, or we'll say around October, maybe September, somewhere around there. I just wanted to talk to people still. And I'm like, I don't want to try another podcast. I just want to have some conversations. Then it doesn't need to be in a podcast format, doesn't need to be weekly or anything like that. And I'll just upload conversations with people.
Yeah.
Because I know some really cool people that I just want to talk to.
Yeah.
So the first person I talked to, she goes by the, well, not she goes by the name. Her name is Jessica Abraham. She's been a friend of mine since 2004. She's a publicist, PR person. She works in tech. Like, she works in the industry, went to full sales.
Renaissance woman.
Yeah, like she kill it all
Does
across
it all.
the board.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to talk to her. This is gonna be an interesting conversation. So as I'm talking to her, I'm telling her, about me wanting to talk to people. And she's like, you seem pretty good at this. You should do it as a business. Like, I don't want to do it as a business. And she's still talking to me like, no, you really should. And I'm like, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll do it if you join up and be my partner. And she's like, all right, let's do it. And that's how it went.
Damn. So you and Jessica are still partner to this day?
Not currently. So there was, mind you, like, this is like my sister. Like I said, we've been friends since like 2003.
Sure.
There was like, she had personal situations, I had personal situations, and I want to say the frustrations we were dealing with as individuals, and then our frustrations together, we had some creative differences, was kind of like, you know what, let's just chill, let's take a minute, relax. And it was more kind of like a pause where she's like, I'm gonna take a second away.
Sure.
But she's always welcome back.
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing.
That's what's up. So you're doing a podcast, you're starting to have these conversations. What is the goal, or what is the view now? Because you wanted to be Black Pittsburgh before, and even when I inquired about the podcast, which you were like, it's more than just music interviews. It's a whole nother aspect. So tell us about that. Like, what is your vision for it as it is today? What do you want these conversations to be? What do you want people to get from it?
Yeah. So it started with just me finding my competitor and finding my goal. Like, where do I want to be? Why am I doing this? And that was Joe Rogan and Diary of a CEO. Those are conversations I want to have, and that's how high I want to be on rankings and podcasts.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I want to be the Black Joe Rogan, talk about aliens, talk about politics, whatever else, how can I get this wild, diverse, multi-niche concepts into one?
Yeah.
And what I figured out was teaching people. And that's where we tie into Black Pittsburgh. That's where we tie into just the Black community, where in the hip hop community, where we say, y'all don't know how to do X, Y, and Z. Y'all
Yeah.
don't know marketing. Y'all doing this wrong, doing that wrong. Well, I can't just say out of my mouth you're doing something wrong. I'm gonna bring on people that have actually done stuff
Found success in that space.
and tell the story of how they did it.
Yeah.
So the way I make it multi-niche, we'll say, is I can bring on a doctor that explains these are the reasons why you need to eat this,
Right.
or stop eating that, or why you should go to school. You know, like the nurse came on and she's a single mother and she completed her nursing degree, and oh, this is the difference between LPN and RN, and
You want it to
know.
be informative. You're trying to give out information. You're trying to teach.
Exactly. And that's how we get the, a flat fisherman, a DJ, a registered nurse,
Yeah.
a rapper, a producer. You know what I mean?
That's fire. No, I love that. I love that concept, and I love that idea, and I love that you have that vision to take it there and to feed the people. Right? We always need to do our job to feed the people and give the knowledge out as we have it and share those experiences. Now, when doing the podcast, how many episodes do you have to this day?
28.
28 episodes.
So we started the very first Saturday of January, which is either January, somewhere between the 3rd and the 6th. I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
The very first Saturday. And the only Saturday that we missed was one where my job sent me to Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay.
And I didn't have enough time to edit, but that was in either January or February. So we missed 1 week.
Yeah.
So 28 weeks.
Congratulations on that, man. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's a lot of time commitment.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite guest or favorite moment?
You know what?
From the podcast?
As I was driving down here, I was thinking he probably gonna ask me this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't name just one.
Yeah.
I've got to say they're all my favorites for different reasons.
Okay.
So like
you can't say I don't have a favorite child. You can't hit me with that.
I mean,
they're all good. They're all mine.
All right, let me say it like this. So first you got DJ Chevy. DJ Chevy was literally my first interview, right? Mm-hmm. And this is a brother that I respect. The whole city respects him like crazy. So for him to come on as my first, like before I even had something to represent a product, that's huge, right? Yeah. Then you got,
he believed in you enough to come on and be your first.
Exactly. Yeah. Then you got Real Deal. Mm-hmm. So Real Deal came on, and I probably only had, I don't know, maybe I think he was 7 or 8. Mm-hmm. So for somebody like Real Deal to come on before I really get any significant numbers,
you have a proof of concept. Yeah.
Like that was huge. Yeah. Then I mean, you got people like Bus Crates. Bus Crates is like one of the most amazing producers in the world. Just to hear him explain his process is like, I mean, and there's so many different people. Lee Davis, he's the OG and he's dropping all these gems.
For sure. Yeah.
Hardo, like, I mean, like you had Hardo on here. Like you understand that the concept of each individual one is like, I'm just happy to be here. And that's literally my energy where I'm like, it's really hard to pick one.
Yeah, no, I understand that, and it's and I always find it beautiful that people don't mind spending their free time with you to talk and to share and to be a part of something that you're creating. Especially like you said, that first guest is always special because they believe in it before there's anything to believe in, and everyone that comes after for being a part of what's being created. So no, shout out to all of them. We have a couple of shared guests. Yeah, Hardo's definitely one of those shared guests. Whenever you're going through and thinking about who you want on, or what are things that you consider when picking someone to have a conversation with? What are things that you're looking for when I'm having someone on to have a conversation with?
So, like I said, I like to talk in-depth conversations. So one of the primary things is how much in-depth can we get?
Do they have layers?
Exactly. Yeah. So like now up to 28 episodes, there's people I talk to that you can't really get much in depth with, where, you kind of start nerding out and they can't necessarily keep up. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, I don't really care that much if you're, just a rapper and you don't have that much of a buzz. Can we really get in deep?
Yeah.
So a few things. There's the business angle, and then there's just like my personal who do I want to talk to angle. Yeah. So who do I want to talk to?
Because you're spending a lot of time with this person.
Exactly. So who do I want to talk to is, do you have something to teach, and how in depth can you get? And is it something from a perspective that I haven't given already on the podcast? From a business angle, I'm doing one episode a week. That means there's 52 in a year. I'm trying to get to Joe Rogan. I'm never going to get to Joe Rogan if I'm doing 30 Pittsburgh hip hop episodes a year. You know what I mean? So I'm getting messages all day, every day from local artists like, yo, can I get on? And I got to tell most of them no matter how in depth they are, just simply because Pittsburgh is my audience right now. I want to be able. Aim. That's not my aim, but it's not as much for me. It's more so I want to be able to put you, the artist, in front of the world. Right. And I'm never going to have the world as an audience if all my guests are local Pittsburgh people.
That's a great point, and I'm glad that you mentioned that and you bring that across, because hopefully someone watches this and understands exactly why you may decline the interview at this moment in time. Yeah. And not saying that has to be the case all the time, but you have a vision for what you're trying to do, and it's up to you to preserve that vision in order to provide a better platform for those who are involved. So thanks for definitely clarifying that and letting the people know why. Because people take things personally sometimes. It's a very human thing to take things personally. I never get mad when people do, and I always try not to, because I think it's most things aren't personal. People have their own things going on, they have their own lives, and we fail to realize that or consider it a lot of times because we're so stuck up in what we have going on. And someone may come to you, approach you, and say, "Yeah, I would love to," and they think you're playing. I'm like, "What you mean I can't?" Oh, this nigga. Oh man. No, bro, it ain't even about that. It's not even about you.
That and even more importantly than that, I think there's a way that they need to come at somebody.
Yeah.
Where
talk about it. Yeah.
Most of the people that hit me up haven't seen any clips, have no idea what the podcast is about, don't know how long we recording. All they know is they seen a clip, they seen the podcast and how much popularity it has, and they want to be on it to be seen.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest story that I can give your audience, at least on that, is especially in business, whenever you're navigating, you should always give more value than you take. Where in the idea and the concept of networking,
yes,
you want to be able to provide something in that transaction.
Absolutely,
right? Yeah. Where like when people approach me, it's like, yo, bro, let me get on the podcast. I rap. I've been doing this. I've been doing
taking
that.
A bite now.
You taking it. You want me to help you. And when you're in a space where you're trying to form or connect a relationship, and it's like, don't make me uncomfortable. Like, why would I bring you on my square if it takes away from me every time you're here?
Right.
Like, bring some positive energy.
Your initial meeting is already taken from you, so why would I want to do any more of this?
Exactly. There should always be like, uplift me, give me something that makes me feel like, I want you to be here. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be, just hype. Hey man, I love your show. It's dope. I support it. Offer help. Hey, I'll help posting clips or something like that. Don't even ask for an interview. Yo, I love your show. What you doing next Sunday? Let's go grab some wings. Like, there's a lot of ways that you could navigate that, but that's probably like one of the biggest issues that I deal with right now is probably like 10 messages a day. And I don't want to like hurt anybody's feelings or nothing like that, because like, again, I want to help everybody.
Right.
But it's just learning, how to network. And all I can think is if you're coming at me like this, then how are you going to other people?
Right.
Which means, how are you navigating your career?
Right. And now if I bring you on my platform, now it's showing I support whatever nonsense you're doing out here. No, that makes great sense. And it's good that you can look at it that way, in that perspective. Now, I think for me, and I could be wrong, correct me if I am, one of the big moments was the Ajax interview, right? The clip from the Ajax interview seemed to be like the one that really took it there. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, but we kind of reached like slight viral success prior to that.
Okay.
So there was a point where DJ Chevy's clips and Kelly Shakur,
Okay.
both of their clips were getting like above 50,000 views, we'll say. Where like I got recognized when I was out before and stuff. I think the main issue with those was they weren't talking about Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Therefore, the clips like went quote unquote viral outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Excuse me. Where Ajax was speaking about Pittsburgh specifically.
Yeah.
And it went more viral.
Yeah.
But that made it more relevant to us because he was talking about Pittsburgh, which means it went to mostly Pittsburgh people.
Right.
So because he was saying Pittsburgh is poor and all this stuff about the black community, it got
mixed reactions.
Yeah, definitely. But I want to say over at least 10,000 shares.
Yeah.
Where I got cousins and my cousin in Detroit text me and he's like, yo, somebody sent me this and showed it to me. My ex hit me up like, yo, somebody just sent me this, like just sharing everywhere. Crazy. Yeah.
So when that happened, and it got mixed reactions, right? Because you're talking about, once again, you're touching on things that can be decisive. And people like to have something to complain about anyway, like people. But when that happened, how'd you feel about the mixed reactions that it did get, the negative ones as well as the positive reactions about it? And I think people misconceived what he was saying. From what I've seen of what happened, I think there was a lot of misconception of what he was saying. Because I heard people bring up like, "Oh, Jackson, Mississippi is poor too." He wasn't saying that Pittsburgh black people were the poorest. He was saying the poorest working class.
Yeah,
is how and people misunderstood that. Not saying that we have the poorest black people, which is a difference. And I think that's what people should understand. Is that fair? Is that fair to say?
Kinda. I contributed to that misunderstanding by the caption that I put on it. And I can't remember exactly what it said, but it was something like the poorest blacks live in Pittsburgh, something to that effect. So I didn't put like working class in that caption. And that was more so a product, not me rage baiting, but like, fitting it so all the text fit nice.
Yeah.
And I'm not even
presentation. You're not thinking it's going to do that.
I'm not even thinking it from the perspective of how they see it. Yeah. To me, it's just normal information. Like, who doesn't know this? Like, okay. And yeah, the response, it just, people completely misunderstood what was said. And even when they did understand what was said, they still didn't necessarily agree with it.
Right. Why do you think that that clip became what it was? Why do you think it was so much conversation about it? What nerve do you think it struck that caused the conversation?
Mostly that Black Pittsburgh is underrepresented, as I said initially, where we're so happy that anybody is saying anything about us publicly that the moment we hear it, we want to share it, we want to comment. It's a thing. So like another clip that went just as big was when Tony Pittsburgh was talking about the ambulance started on the Hill District. Like most of my clips that went over 300,000 views are talking about something in the Pittsburgh black community. So anything that
and that was initially why you wanted to start the whole thing to begin with.
Exactly.
So that just goes to that probably further gives you more proof of concept of your vision was right.
And it affirms how I felt.
Right.
That Black Pittsburgh was underrepresented.
Wow.
And yeah, like anything that we can identify with, it's like, yeah, they don't know this. Like, tell them.
And I think that's a very Pittsburgh thing too, right? Because like Pittsburgh loves Pittsburgh stuff.
Yeah.
Like more than anything, right? Like Pittsburgh loves to tell you, yeah, that's from Pittsburgh. Like he's from you know what I mean? The All-State guy's from Manchester. You know what I mean? Like Pittsburgh loves Pittsburgh stuff. You know what I mean? And that kind of goes into what you're saying with this whole concept.
Yeah, that, and then there's the concept of people disagreeing with it. They got, people that's not in Pittsburgh is like, what about Jackson, Mississippi? You know what I mean? Right. So it created that controversy where people want to argue with it. Some people, and a lot, and I mean a whole lot of people that aren't in Pittsburgh, that like left Pittsburgh, they're chiming in because they're like, yeah, this is why I left.
Yeah. Damn. Oh, that's dope, man. That's dope. So I'm glad we got into that. I got some fun questions for you.
Okay.
My rapid round questions for you. So give me your top 5 favorite producers of all time. Your favorite producers of all time.
Like industry or city?
Either industry,
Just period.
yeah, period.
Oh man. Okay. So at the top of that list, I gotta say my man Jimmy Chiba. He's actually from Pittsburgh. Was a producer for me under my team at one point in time. His music's kind of like theatrical, cinematic. Um, who else is on there? Timbaland, Dr. Dre.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3. Oh man, I can't even think right now. And I don't want to name somebody super lame. Jazzy Faye.
Okay. Jazzy Fizzle, Product Shizzle.
Yeah. Maze, the musical professor from Pittsburgh.
That's 5.
Yeah.
That's 5 for sure. What's the best rap album ever made? In your opinion, of course.
Wow. Oh man, best rap album ever made. What are we judging this on? Just whatever I think.
Whatever you think. I mean, whatever you think. I'm not gonna. What do you think? Like, so if civilization broke down,
Yeah.
and there was no more nothing, and they started all over again, and they had to find a CD to represent hip hop,
Yeah.
what CD would you want them to find?
A CD to represent hip hop. Oh man. I don't know. I almost want to say just from my personal perspective, but I don't know. Maybe Nas, Illmatic.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Can't go wrong with Nas, Illmatic.
Yeah.
An artist that you would love to produce for, living or dead or alive.
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, like Kendrick.
Yeah.
For sure. What do you think is the most overrated trend in hip hop right now?
Oh man. I almost want to say auto-tune, but I feel like that's just a typical answer.
It's not though. You're probably the first person to say that for real.
Auto-tune, definitely.
Okay, auto tune.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer, vinyl, streaming, or CDs?
To listen to, or like
as a form of medium?
Vinyl, like just period, is the greatest to me.
Yeah.
But CDs is like easier and compact, so we'll say vinyl.
Vinyl. And what's a beat that you've heard before that you wish you would have produced? Beat you love so much you're like, damn, I wish I would have made that one.
Are You That Somebody by Timbaland.
That's a good one. That's my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lee, Are You That Somebody? And finally, what's most important to you, legacy or money?
Legacy. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, that's a and it goes along with integrity, I'll say.
Yeah. It means a lot, right? Your name.
Yeah. 100%. Because that's like a lot of people say that you want something that you could pass down to your kids and grandkids and stuff like that. But legacy alone, I mean, within that name, that's like an integrity for your offspring that people will have judged them in a positive manner long before they ever met them.
Right.
And like they have that handicap basically to go off of whenever they meet people. Yeah. Oh, you're from that family.
Oh, you're
so
Kennedy.
Son.
Oh, you're Oh, you're a Gordy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
No, for sure. No, man, I appreciate you coming down to stop by and tell us your story. Get to know you. It's good to be on the other side of the
Hey, I love it. I appreciate it, man. This was this is crazy.
Yeah.
It's dope though, because I mean, like I'm practiced at having conversations in general, so like that part feels natural, but to be asked questions, I don't know. It's weird. It's different.
Is it?
Yeah. I appreciate it though.
No, for sure, man. No, I'm glad I had a chance to bring you down. I'm glad you agreed to come down, bro. It's a pleasure. There's so much we could have got into and we can't get into, and you invited me to be a part of yours, and I'm sure we're going to get into.
Yeah.
I'm just a student of hip hop in every form. Pittsburgh hip hop. I'm a big student of, and participant. Lucky to be a participant, and you're such an important part of that. And what you're doing now is such an important part of that. So I'm so grateful for you to come down and join me on this platform and help expand the reach. And I know we're going to have a clip at some point that goes viral because that's what you do. I appreciate you joining me, man. No, for real. What can we look for? What can we look for coming up on your podcast? What you got planned for us? Any guests that you're looking forward to having on?
A few actually. So I'll get some names. Some people that I got scheduled. So I got S Money scheduled.
That's dope.
I got Godfather scheduled.
Oh, okay, yeah. What up, JKJ? I see you, bro.
Who else I got? Man, Kiki from Whammo.
Yeah.
Those some good ones.
You got Bo coming on? That's fire.
I got a CEO of not CEO, VP of $100 million tech company.
Yeah.
And also something real big that I'm working on is a segment of the podcast that will feature a therapist, PhD therapist, where we kind of analyze and break down some of the podcast episodes and stuff like that. So nice. There's a lot of things in the works. Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to seeing some of those podcasts for sure. And like I said, I love everything you're doing. I love the things that I've seen on there. I love how you're informing. I'm loving how you're shedding the light on the city, and you're helping to create industry. You're helping to provide us a voice. And anytime anyone's doing that, it's truly a blessing, right? It's truly a gift to us all whenever you're able to do that. And I wish you much success and everything upcoming. And I'm here to support you in any way we can. Bunch of Bull Studios is here to support you in any way we can, for sure. And we appreciate y'all for joining us on the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast. Make sure y'all check out the Stash Spots on Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays. Jesse and them boys smoking some of that best. And I'll be back next Saturday with another special guest for you. Make sure y'all check us out then. Oh, before I do that, I almost closed out. How do the people get a hold of you? How can the people watch the podcast? If I don't know how I forgot to do that.
So my girl Jessica, she's a badass with the SEO.
Yep.
You put in the Kalaj Dame podcast, KALAJ DAME, 2 words. You put that in Google, it's going to show you everything.
Yeah.
Like we on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast. Of course, we got the Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, but literally just put it in Google and everything pops up.
Dope. Make sure y'all do that. I don't believe I almost signed out before doing that. We usually do that mid-podcast, so I don't. But nonetheless, man, make sure y'all tune back in with us next Saturday for another episode of the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast.